Om Namah Shivaya. Shambho Mahadeva. Mahadeva. We are speaking on the truth. So we said the transcendent knowledge is identical to transcendent truth, Satyam. The transcendent knowledge. Once we spoke about transcendent knowledge. Transcendent knowledge, which is identical with transcendent truth. The transcendent knowledge, the knowledge that which transcends you, is transcendent knowledge. There are many things we call it as knowledge. Many things are jnana. Making an aeroplane is a jnana. Making a television is a jnana. If you call it as that way, everything is a jnana. Knowing something is a jnana. Here the jnanam is not that what he means in Vedas and Upanishads. Here the jnanam is transcendent jnana. The jnanam that transcends you towards the truth. The jnanam that transcends you towards the reality. You see, there is a difference in it. Knowing a trade is different. Well, ultimately, when you do deeper divisions, deeper interpretations of that, you will find that that also is meant for a transcendence. Knowing things from small is all meant for transcendence, because every knowing we are taken towards the next step of knowing. You see? And from there to the next step of knowing. And gradually this knowing increases by renouncing that what is known, and ultimately reaches a stage where a transcendent knowledge is acquired. That transcendent knowledge, the knowledge that transcends you, is transcendent truth. The truth that helps you to transcend is equivalent to that. There is a very fine division he has made there. Ultimately it will look apparently as well as ultimately it will look. The truth is knowledge. Truth is knowledge. And knowledge is truth. Yes. When it comes to the peak parakashta, they call it. That means when it reaches to the peak of it, they all become one. Till then, it will have similarities, resemblance. Lots of words can be used. But when it reaches that parakashta, when it reaches beyond that limited ultimate, when it reaches its own ultimate, it will appear to be one. The truth is, and knowledge is truth, and truth is knowledge. So that transcends you. The knowledge that transcends you to the truth, and the truth that transcends you to the knowledge, is called transcendent knowledge, is identical with transcendent truth. It's very easy to understand the word meaning because you have learned the words and meanings, so it may not be difficult, but the transcendence should take place. If the transcendence doesn't take place, one will not know the meaning of the transcendent knowledge. If you do not reach the status of the truth, you will not know what is called the transcendent truth. There are so many truths today, as far as common man is concerned. But none of them are truths, even though, as I always tell you, and always told you during these sessions of Upanishads, many of these words which are normally there in the higher consciousness have been used in the lower consciousness for a similar action in the physical level or sensual perceptional level, in order to identify them with the higher consciousness. In the lower level, in the materialistic world, like tell the truth. I have not gone there is the truth. This is what say. I have not gone there is the truth. Is it the truth actually? No. So we use the word truth. I have not gone there has nothing to do with the truth. You are telling an action has been taken or action has not been taken. I cannot call it as a truth. I have gone there or I have not gone there. Even though I have gone there, I say I have not gone there. Yes. They are all actions and interpretations and expressions that you make during the objective living, materialistic living, objectively. But we call it as truth and lie. Well, nothing wrong. What I am trying to tell you, that don't try to think that all those things truths. If you say that I ate my lunch is a truth. Yeah. I ate yesterday also is a truth. Is it a truth? Is it satyam? There's a difference in that truth and satyam. One is a fact. It's a fact and this is the truth. That's a fact that I ate. It's a fact that I went or I did not go. It's a fact that this, it's a fact that that. It is not the truth. What is truth? Truth is satyam. Where has satyam come from? Satyam has come sad. From sad, it is satyam. Sad is what? Superior. The Sat, Satya Yuga, Sad Yuga, Sad Yuga, Sadvachanam. Satyavachanam, Sadvachanam. From Sad, Satyam has come. From Sad is that which is the existence, which is not manifested, which is not representing an action or an expression. It's not Satyam is not an action or an expression. That is why there cannot be any interpretation to Satyam. Upanishad said, Satyam is Satyam, that's all. There is no other paryaya for that. Yes. Why? Because it is what is Satyam? That Satyam is the absolute knowledge. Satyam, Sat. That's why he said here, the transcendent knowledge is identical to transcendent Satya, truth, whatever it is, truth. That truth is Sat. Yes. Is Satya. That is Satya Vachanam. Not that you did an action and you told you did an action. Satya. So that means you can, I'll tell you an example. A man has stolen something. He was taken to the court. Judge asked him. He said, I have stolen something. Sat, truth. We call it as truth, Satyam. Is it Satyam? It cannot be called as a Satyam. He told what has happened by him. That's what it's a fact. What we can, if at all, we can say it's a fact. Because there is no Sad in it. Why? Because stealing is not Sad. It's not, cannot be called as Satyam. It cannot be classified as Satyam. You did a wrong thing and you are telling I did a wrong thing. Oh, he told the truth. No. I mean, Satyam. It is not Satyam. So you cannot classify it as Satyam. You understood what's the difference between Satyam, what we are talking as Satyam? So nothing in this world that is happening is Satyam, as the world itself is not Satyam. They are all okay for the purpose of correspondence, for the purpose of expressions, for the purpose of language, understanding each other. The word, that's why I said, those words which are there in the higher consciousness have been expressed in the lower consciousness for a similar activity in the lower consciousness, but which doesn't mean that is the absolute meaning of it in the higher consciousness. It's not that. But one thing is good. By using those words, at least one knows there is a word like that, and that word is not supposed to be used for in the lower consciousness, but it is meant for the higher consciousness. This realization can come when one understands and goes through it. Satyam. Satyam is only one. Satyam is not anekam. So I cannot say I am telling the truth, he is also telling the truth, he is also telling the truth, he is not telling the truth, he is telling a lie. They don't become the truth. Satyam is Satyam. That's why he said the transcendent speech is an expression of transcendent knowledge. I told you yesterday, it is not that he is speaking the truth or whatever he tells that happens, he tells what happens. That's the truth, you understood? That is the truth. That what is there in the existence he is telling is called the truth, not that what he has told will become right. No, it's not that. The right has been told, if you call it as right, just for the language purpose. So the transcendent speech, that's called the transcendent speech. The speech which transcends you is the expression of transcendent knowledge. The knowledge that is transcendent. The knowledge that helps you to transcend is the expression of the speech which helps you to transcend, is equivalent to that. Because what does it mean at last? That means the speech and the knowledge and the truth are not different. They are all transcendent speech, transcendent knowledge, transcendent truth means what? Everything is one. So even though we call it as Satya Vachan, it is Satyam. A Vachan is superfluous actually. At a point of time, Satyam. But Vachanam has been there because it is expressed through the speech. So the Vachana has come. That's why Satyam, Vada, Dharmam, Chara is it. Dharmam is meant only for Chara. Dharmam is not meant for Vada. Satyam, Vada, Satyam, Chara is not there. You function truthfully is not there. Satyam, Vada. That which is existence is what is told. Satyam, Vada. That which is manifested by you is not Satyam. That which is manifested by an object is not Satyam. That which you think that it must be like that is not Satyam. That you understood that it is right is not Satyam. I have seen it personally with my own eyes is Satyam. It is not Satyam. You are false. Your eyes are false. So what you have seen is also, if I am permitted to say false, I would say it is asatyam. It's better language. You are asatyam, your eyes are asatyam, what you have seen is asatyam. They are all manifestations. Fine. It's there. It's all manifestations, illusions. In a different field, it appears to be satyam. That's why I said. That's why a person should be adequately transformed, they said. If one is not adequately transformed, a sensual transcendent appearance, a sensual transcendence, or a sensual, what did I say? Perception. A sensual perception will be there. That is satyam. It's a sensual perception. Because my senses, up to that only I can understand. And I say it is true. I have seen it. How can you say it is not true? I have seen it. It's sensual perception. That perception as a truth, that what your senses have experienced, it is not the truth. Many things what you have experienced have been proved as not the truth, is it not? In our life, when you go through it, so many incidents, so many things you will find that which appeared and which perceived by you as truth has been proved as not truth. Even our thoughts. Yes. You think something because of, if I do that, if I get that, if I go there, if I see that, it will be good for me, right for me, wrong for me, things like that. Has been proved immediately wrong. Almost every moment it happens in our life, is it not? Every moment it happens. So, what I am trying to tell you, you should understand. So that is not called as truth. They are absolutely sensual perceptions. That sensual perceptions are only in the lower consciousness, which appears to be the perception and which is not, is why the Vedas have specifically mentioned about the knowledge and truth. Unless you have the absolute knowledge, you will not know the truth. That's all. Till then, one cannot explain the truth. And once you have become absolute, once you have reached the absolute knowledge, you have reached the truth also. This is why he said, it is the peak of wisdom. It's a peak of experience and it is a peak of wisdom, he said. The peak of experience, when experience, there are nothing more to experience, then only you will reach the point of truth. When there is nothing more to study, then only you will reach the point of wisdom. So long there is something to experience, you will not understand the truth. Because it will be going into the experimental experiencing will be identified as sensual perception as the truth. But in order to really know the truth, you reach the peak of experience. There should be nothing more to experience. So long there is experiencing, there is karma. You see, this is what is called karma mukti. When you have the karma mukti, then only you have known the truth. You understood now? Upanishadically, when it is explaining, you put it in a different language. When there is no more experiencing, you reach the peak of it. When there is no karma to be done. When a karma is done, then only experiencing takes place. Even a thinking is a karma. So when karma mukti takes place, then only you are attaining the truth. Till then, you do not know what is the truth, and you will not know. Is there any way? No way. What's the way? Renounce everything. Reach the status of there is no more experiencing. What else can we do? There is no shortcut, unfortunately or fortunately. Otherwise, everyone can witness the truth and come back. We are not talking about witnessing the truth and coming back. No. We are all talking about superimposition of the perception of truth. That's all. In the statue in the temple, we are superimposing God on that. Is actually making you believe that there is God in that. It's not. Sensual perception. There is a karma going on. How can you witness the God? Unless you attain the truth. So long you are there. So long your karma is there. You means your karma. So long your experiencing is there, you will not be able to understand the truth. And there is no question of witnessing the truth and coming back. Here in this case, what happened in sensual perception, you can superimpose God on that temple. You can superimpose the same God in some other temple. You can superimpose many gods in the same temple. You can superimpose many gods in the same temple. Many of them seeing the God in many shapes and forms. Sensual perception. And believes that this is the truth. When an emotion increases, somebody told me that. Somebody who is closer to me told me that, you see, they went and prayed in a temple. So he saw the goddess dressed up in absolutely red sari and lot of jewelry and all that. Is modern made by, what is it? What jewelers? What are they? On that 999, smart on that. But that's not told. It's my, I'm just making it elaborate. That's all. They said it's all deco. I mean, what is it? Ornament, made up. No, what do you call it? Adorned. Okay, that's the right word. Adorned with all this jewelry and red sari and bright, very bright, coming to me, standing there. You see. It can be seen. What that person said, it is right as far as that person is concerned. As far as that person is concerned, it's right because that was the emotion at that moment of time, and the expectation is there in the lower consciousness. The superimposition of this mental picture, superimposition, has been imposed on that and found that it is there. And one can believe it is as good as truth, it can be believed, it is there. And that person also told that none of the others who were with me have seen it. I have only seen it. That person was in a real misunderstanding that the person has seen the goddess. The others have not seen it. If the goddess has come, let the others also see what is there. Isn't it? I have only seen. See how this person has interpreted. And they asked everybody, have you seen? Have you seen? Have you seen? No, we have not seen. So it's not there. I'm just telling an example, that's all. Many of us or many people have found such things as superimposition as absolutely true, sensual perception. You feel the experience of it, you see. That's a sensual perception. One is a truth, another is a sensual perception. In order to attain the truth, one has to be beyond this. One has to reach the peak of experience. One has to reach the peak of knowledge. The jnana. Puranas have told that is, if you pray to some Lord in certain shape, it will be presented in that shape and all that. Well, possible. Your one's bhakti and shraddha is possible. But in any case, even the utmost bhakti, when we call, or utmost knowledge, whatever you call, whether it is jnana marga or bhakti marga, only these two will be left out. Unless we reach the parakashta, unless we reach the beyond the limit of that, beyond the limit of my emotional mind understanding it, staying in this physical body named as such and such, standing in such and such location and living in such and such position, this flesh and bone cannot witness God. From the level of the mind, in living itself, it is possible, Adi Shankara said, that is, when in the body. But the process of thought should be, or the process of level of knowledge should be at a higher consciousness than the lower consciousness. Then anything is possible. Then they are all truth. Then he will not tell the truth. He sees the truth. He speaks the truth. What was spoken by him will become Vedavakya, we called it. Now it's, a term is there. Every word spoken is a Vedavakya. Vedavakya is what? Veda is Vidya, with. From that jnanam. With this jnanam. That each and every word spoken is jnanam. Not what is his emotions that he is speaking. Not that what is trained to him he is speaking. He is speaking that jnanam. That's all. So the truth is totally different. I hope you got that. That's why these explanations have to be given. So one should not just simply understand truth is that satyam that we normally use for anything and everything. This is the peak of experience and peak of wisdom. What is the peak of experience? That the transcendent knowledge is identical to transcendent truth. Is the peak of experience and peak of wisdom. Got it? It's a peak of wisdom. Peak of wisdom. Our speech should be based on the reality of being. Yesterday I explained about, last class. Our speech should be based on the reality of being. This cannot be explained. I told that already. One has to be in that being, then only the speech automatically of the being will come. Our speech should be based on the reality of being. Tathastu. Tatha astu. That which is existence. That's what is spoken. That's why Akashvani and things like that. Only then it manifests itself as reality. Then only it can be manifested as reality. From the being, that's why we say Lord Shiva, Bhagavan Shiva. If he tells something, it is manifested as reality. It happens there. He brings the changes into the Prakriti. He can bring the changes into the Dharma depending upon necessity. Because he can bring changes doesn't mean that every few seconds, depending upon his emotional, because there's no emotions, one's emotional experiences, one keeps changing it. It's not that. Why this is said that there is a capability of Bhagavan to change anything and everything. There's a capability, is what we are told. So we say that why not Bhagavan make this change to me? Immediately we ask that. This is the ignorance part of it. Bhagavan, as I told you, when the truth, when one is in the being of Purusha, that what he speaks is the truth, or that what is truth is spoken. Okay. That what is truth is spoken. Similarly, when Bhagavan or Ishvara, when he changes, when we say it changes, when a change is necessary for the Prakriti to happen for certain things, he speaks that and it happens. That's what it is. Whenever it is necessary only, not depending upon the whims and fancies of an individual that let it happen. No, it's not. That's why we say we have a proverb in our normal, common language in our own houses. Even an absolutely illiterate also will say, "अरे भगवान भी इसको change नहीं कर सकता है." लोग क्या बोलते हैं? इसको भगवान भी change नहीं कर बदल नहीं सकता है. You see, what does it mean? True, it is. Why? Because when something's swabhava is according to that, and one has to undergo the experiencing according to that, even God cannot change it. Why? Because He will change it only when the experiencing is differently necessary. Then only that changes will take place. So generally, one word is that that's Bhagwan bhi isko change nahi kar sakta hai. When there is an absolute adamancy and ignorance comes in one, this becomes absolutely blocked. A person who cannot accept even small good ideas in this world, how can he change himself from the lower consciousness to higher consciousness? Guru says it is true. Shishya says, how can I believe it? How will he change from the lower consciousness to higher consciousness? Duryodhana said that. Duryodhana didn't want to believe any of their gurus. Let it be Bhishma, let it be Dronacharya, let it be Bhagavan Krishna himself. He said so many things. But he did not want to change. He only believed in whom? The Shakuni, who is plotting to destroy the Kuru Vamsha. What was his intention? To be there with them? To be with Duryodhana? Only to destroy Duryodhana, only to destroy Kuru Vamsha, because of his vengeance against Bhishma. No, of course, that story goes on. So what happened for him? God also could not change him. Even God could not change him. Why? Because his adharmam has to be experienced by him, and he has to undergo that experience. Had he turned a little bit of understanding is there, he could have easily changed. He could have easily gone from that lower consciousness to higher consciousness. Is why if you have, when listening to Upanishads and learning the Upanishads and Vedas, yourself should be absolutely out. It should be absolutely perception of the truth in you, that's all. There cannot be any question mark. There cannot be any argument. There cannot be any differences in that. Straight away taken as truth, that's all. Straight away taken as right, that's all. It is practiced by us. It's not that it's not practiced by us. When somebody is learning a martial art, he says you have to put the step like this, you have to breathe like this, you have to do like this, then only that will happen. It has to be believed. No, I will do like this. When you have to dance, learning a dance rhythm, steps, you have to do like that, is it not? For so many years, thousands of years, this Bharatanatyam has been taught. The same Bharatanatyam has been danced thousands of years ago also, the same way. Now also, the same way. There is no change. Then only it will become that. You cannot manipulate and manifest on that, because that's the way it is. I'm just telling you small examples. You have to write a letter, A is A, like this. Then only the others can understand. No, I will write like this. A. Because I have got freedom of thought. But I am trying to tell you, we are doing it. In all fields of activities, in all fields of our living, we are doing it. But only thing what happens, when it comes to the upliftment of ours from the mind, from the lower consciousness to higher consciousness, why can't you? Our ego comes in between, our importance comes in between. If will I lose my importance? Will I lose my name? Will I lose my those things what are there in this world? There is a fear behind losing. That's why this is not happening. So that should not be there. Only then it manifests itself as reality. So when one is in the being, in the truth, then only it manifests as reality. Then it becomes, it says that he becomes the God. We said after reaching the seventh layer, then he becomes the God himself. There is a layam with the Parabrahman. The layam of the Parabrahman takes place only when one becomes that being. There's no knower, knowing, known, nothing. Truth, everything is merged and being. Then what happens? Then whatever unit you call them, that expresses, that becomes the universe. That's all. That what expresses becomes the universe. That is called the manifests itself as reality. Truth and knowledge are identical. When you look at it, truth and knowledge are identical. Jnanam. What is Jnanam? The Brahma Jnanam, Brahma Tattva, Brahma. That Jnanam is the truth. Ajnanam is lie. That's all. Jnanam is the truth. Ignorance is the lie. What is ignorance? Ignorance is that. What is ignorance? What is the classification of ignorance? Expressing or seeing or superimposing something as the truth when it is not is called the ignorance. That's ignorance. So when you classify this, now you can connect it with whatever I told you some time back. I have eaten. Is it a truth? Superimposing ignorance, that which is not truth, expressing as truth is called ignorance. That's called the knowledge. Is it knowledge? It is not knowledge. Jnanam is truth. Absolute Jnanam is absolute truth. When that happens, what happens? There is no ignorance prevalent there in the status of absolute Jnanam. There is no ignorance. All other things are ignorance. Superimposed. I am living, I am rich, I am poor, I am guru, I am educated, I am Mahatapasvi, Maharishi, I am Devata. All that. Superimposition of this. The truth and knowledge are identical. Our speech becomes true because our speech is based on knowledge of the truth. I was told about this. Knowledge of the truth. He speaks, that has happened, so it happens. Not that he speaks, that then it happens. He says no. He said that and it has happened. Actually, what he said, he saw it happened. As far as he is concerned, it happened. I go and ask a tapasvi, hey Bhagavan, what will happen to my life, my future? He says, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen, and on this day you will die. He said that. So when it happens, we say whatever he said has happened. But he has seen what you have seen happened now. He has seen it when he has told that much before. Due to his being in the higher consciousness. When he is in the being of the higher consciousness, in the absolute truth, absolute knowledge, he can see everything and everything is happened. It's all like a story written, that's all. It's a book. You read a book from the beginning to the end, you know that, okay, this has happened. The man who has already read the book, if you are in the middle of the book, 20th page, You go and ask him what happens in this book at the end, he will immediately tell. Is it not? This is what it is. So what he told has become the truth. Is it that? No. That what is the truth? He has told you. You got it now. It is an open book for him. For you, you have to read through, then only you will understand, because you are in the lower consciousness, you are not able to see. As I told you, if you are above, you can see whatever is below. If you are below, you cannot see anything beyond that. It's not possible. Is why he said, because of our speech is based on the knowledge of truth. Our speech is based on the knowledge of truth. Whose speech? Those who spoke like that. This is what Sanat Kumara means when he says, Yesha tuvadivadatiya satye nativadatai. Well, Master, then I wish, who said? Devarashi says, Master, Yesha tuva advaitadiya satye satyena divadati. I wish I would be like that. Narada wants that. See, fed up of all this. I want to be that. I want to be in that truth, realm of the truth. I want to be in the realm of the absolute knowledge. Hey Bhagavan. Satyen adivadati. Then he says, would be that. So ham Bhagava satyena divadaniti. So aham Bhagava satyena divadaniti, says Narada. What did he say? Hey Bhagavan, there is no way how to reach that parakanshta of the ultimate jnanam and ultimate truth. When and how will I identify? When will I reach? And not when will I reach? How will I reach? It's a vast field. How will I reach? So he says, Hey Bhagavan, Satyanadivadan iti. Please initiate me into the mystery of acquiring this knowledge, which is tuned up to the reality. Beautiful it is. Which is tuned up to the reality, which is one with the being. You should remember who is telling this. Devarashi Narada is telling Sanat Kumara, Hey Bhagavan, please initiate me to acquire this knowledge, which is tuned up to reality. This knowledge tuned to reality. He is not telling you, initiate me to acquire the knowledge. Acquire the knowledge which is tuned up to reality, which is one with being. That's initiate me to reach Lord Shiva. In short, in between the knowledge, reality, everything came in that. To be in the being, that existence, what is Bhagavan Shiva meant? To reach me that existence, there is no other way. Attune me to acquire the knowledge tuned to the reality which is itself is the being, which is one with the being. Is there any way? Kadacha, we said, Puranas have told that whatever you say, Binu Guru Jnana kaha se paye. Without attunement, how will I reach the knowledge, acquire the knowledge of, which is tuned to reality, which is one with the being. This jnanam to reach the Paramahansa. I reach, you can row the whole the boat through the sea. You have crossed the sea. After crossing the sea, now what to do? To reach the other shore, you have crossed the sea by rowing. Learned knowledge, reality, experience, karma, karma phala, all that has completed and reached there. Now after reaching there, just reaching there is not the purpose. Going to the other shore is the purpose. So you have to get down from the boat. Walk to the shore. For that, somebody has to help you to get down. There's no way. Otherwise you will be sitting in the boat only. Is it not? That is what he said. Hey, Bhagwan, attune me into the mystery of acquiring this knowledge. That's what he said. Which is a mystery. It's mystic. It's a mystery of acquiring the knowledge which is tuned up to reality, which is one with the being. So to be on the shore, then only you can say, I have crossed the Bhavasagara. Not just by reaching there, oh, I have crossed. Then again you are back with the waves. You have to get down there after reaching there. No, don't sit. Don't sit in that because the waves are coming, it will take you back. That to tell you that to get down there and then take you to the shore, there has to be somebody. There has to be somebody in the sense. There has to be a plank to get down. There has to be a ladder to get down. There has to be a path to get down. There has to be somebody to hold you and get you and to take you to the shore. Then you can say, okay, I am here with the being. So now nothing more is required because I have reached there. Now I don't have to know how to row, what is the boat, what is the shore, what is the sea, what is this one. Nothing is to be known. Renounced everything. Is it possible for me to have this knowledge? Hey Bhagavan, Satyam Tvayeva Vijnana Sthidavyam. Who said? Bhagavan said. Sanat Kumara said, Satyam Tvayeva Vijnanasitavyam. My dear Narada, says Bhagavan Sanat Kumara, you want, he is telling him, you want a knowledge which is tuned up with reality and which is ultimately, it is the being. But then you must know what reality or truth is. Just by wanting to know the mystery of the knowledge of the reality is not good enough. But then what you have to do? You want to know that Vijnana Stitavyam. You have to be Stitavyam. Where? In the reality. After leaving the jnana, knowledge, you have to be in the reality. When in the reality, then jnanam is no more there. Is real. To know the reality, I need jnanam. To reach the upper platform, I need the ladder. After I reach the upper platform, the ladder is no more necessary. Is the reality. What is the reality? Why did I use the ladder? To be there. So after being there, then the reality, this knowledge is not necessary. So he says that it is not knowledge It's not the mystery of the knowledge that is required, but he has already specified mystery of the knowledge which is tuned to the reality. So when it is tuned to the reality, I must know, why am I climbing the ladder? Is it not? Not simply keep a ladder and climb on that, is it not? You have a purpose. Why? I want to go to the roof. I want to go to the branch of that tree. I want to climb up to the, that electric pole. Or I want to climb up to such and such position. These climb. No, you should know that. Not climbing just like that. No. So that's why he said, knowledge which is tuned to reality. Not anywhere and everywhere. Okay, I want to earn money. You should have knowledge. Artha Shastra, you should know. Then you can earn money. You can keep a ladder and reach that earning money portion and release that knowledge, only that much. Here it is not that. Here it is knowledge which is tuned to reality, which is up to, again, to the being. So to know that, hey Narada, you should know whether you don't want to go to mango tree or to the roof of this one, or to the pole, or to that, then only I can tell you. So Vijnana Sthita is it. Where do you would like to station yourself? That you must know first. Roof, I want to be on the roof. What is there on the roof? And what will be like in the roof? And why should I be there in the roof? These details, this jnanam should be there. So he says, unless you know that what is truth, how can you try to identify your knowledge with the truth or truth with the knowledge? So you must know what reality or truth is. First you should know what reality or truth is. Then the knowledge to the truth will be guided towards that. So unless you know what is truth, how can you try to identify your knowledge with the truth? The knowledge has to be identified with the truth. It's not like climbing on the ladder, even though an example is given. It is not like that. Here the knowledge and the truth becomes one, merged. Not only like ladder gone and ladder is separate, I am separate. No. Here separation is not happening, it is merging takes place. Ladder is folded inside you. It's already there. It's not left behind. You have reached the knowledge. The knowledge is there inside you. But the knowledge need not be used for it. But the knowledge is inside you. Not that ladder is thrown off. It is there. Ladder is given an example. Normally an example is given. It is there. The knowledge is inside you. Then you reach the truth. And then when you reach, how can you try to identify knowledge with the truth or truth with the knowledge? Then only you will know that the knowledge has turned out to be the truth. And you will automatically realize it is because of the knowledge the truth has been revealed. The moment the truth has been revealed, the knowledge has revealed the truth, or the truth has revealed the knowledge. The truth has revealed the knowledge in the truth. Knowledge helped the revelation of the truth. Both have become one. Both have got the contributory part of it. They become one. Take a small brush, take a white paint. In the canvas you put a white line or white drawing, white sketch, white portrait. You are using the brush and the paint for portraying something. So you should know the reality. You should know the reality. So that's the reality. So in order to attain that reality, the knowledge, you have to have a paint of this kind. You have to have a brush of this kind. You have to draw, you have to strike your strokes like this. Then only it can create the picture. All this has been done. After the portrait is made, what happened? Neither the knowledge of the paint, nor the brush, nor the stroking, nor the person who is stroking, nothing is necessary because that is there. In that portrait, what is there? There is paint, there are strokes, there is a brush mark, there is all the details there, it's all engulfed in it, is it not? But it appeared to be a portrait, that's all, reality or the truth. So the truth is inculcated with all these things. Everything is incorporated in it. Then only it becomes the truth. So for that, you should know the truth. Then only the knowledge can be guiding factor towards you. So you should know. That's why we said always, no, what we started with that in the Upanishad also, Brahman is. We always said Brahman, attaining the Brahman, attainment of Brahman. Brahma Sakshatkaram, Brahma Jnanam, we kept on doing it because that is the reality with the being. So to achieve that reality with the being, all this knowledge being acquired, then only I will reach there. That's what Bhagavan says here. You should know, identify your knowledge with the truth or truth with the knowledge. This knowledge will come. You must have a clear conception of what I mean by truth. Only then can you have an aspiration for identifying your knowledge with the truth. Knowing truth and speaking truth. Bhagavan says, you must have a clear conception of what I mean by truth. Satyam, when I say, you should have a clear conception of that. If you do not have a real conception of that, you can't attain that. Only then you can have an aspiration for identifying your knowledge with the truth, knowing truth and speaking truth. Speaking truth here is that Vang, Vacha, Vani, things like that. That is why, when the Guru says attainment of Brahman, you have to have the clear conception of attainment of Brahman. I know one cannot understand it, but that concept should be clear that it is true that he is guiding us to the Brahman. There cannot be Sthita Prajna, has to be there. We are coming to that, how it is to be attained. And when that firmness, when the absolute surrender is there, again it's surrender, Shraddha, Bhakti, everything comes in that. When attainment of that, then when it is there, automatically you are able to travel towards it. When you create obstacles for your own progress, when you create obstacles in the sense you create thoughts in between, you create all other things to come, intrude in your progress of this path, automatically what happens? You get stuck by that or delayed by that, whatever it is. So, knowing the truth, then the master says that, I would like to know. Then, hey master, he says that, hey Guru, I would like to know what truth is. Satyam Bhagavad Vijnana Saiti. Hey Bhagavan, then I would like to know. Satyam Bhagavad Vijnana Saiti. Please tell me, what is the truth? No, truth, as I told you, truth cannot be as it is explained. See how he is trying to make us, it cannot be told because there is no a direct meaning, for that. Then only one can explain truth. So, truth has to go through the knowledge, then comes to the reality, then comes to the being. Are you getting the steps? Comes to the being. These are all truth. To identify truth only he is telling all this. Then comes next chapter. Now he says that Tell me what is the truth again. Again we are coming back to the same, where in section 17, so what is section 17? 17, 1. यदा वै विज्ञानाद् यथा सत्यं वदति न विजानान् सत्यं वदति विजानान्येव सत्यं वदति विज्ञानं त्वेव विजिज्ञानाति सव्यम् इति विज्ञानं भगवः उज्जानस इति विजिज्ञानसा इति because it's in English. Yeah, vijignasa iti. Spelling something mistakes are there. Again, what happens? We are in the vicious circle of the argument. As it were, you want to know the truth. Truth has to be known as it is and not as it appears. It's a very good word, sentence. It's worth for contemplation. Truth has to be known as it is and not as it appears. Well, this I have already explained to you earlier. Truth is not as it appears to you. That's why the appearance appears. It's not that what you think it is truth. The truth is truth. That's why he said, it's not that what it appears to you, the truth. You may find it as truth, but it's not the truth. That is your status. When you are here, you will find this as truth. When you are there, you will find that as truth. When you are somewhere else, that is truth. None of them are truth. The truth is the truth. Not what it appears to you, what you identify, what you describe, what you see, what you experience is not the truth. None of them can be called as the truth. It's a peak of experience which is known as the truth and wisdom. Peak of experience, peak of knowledge is not. That's what has been told. So there should not be any experiencing. When it appears to be means there is an experiencing. Am I right? It has already been explained, but still it is being repeated only to give us emphasis on that. It appears means there is an experiencing takes place when it appears, the truth. That is not Satyam, hey Maharshi. Truth has to be known as it is and not as it appears. There are various types of truth. Before us, one says that is true, this is true, everything is true. But is everything ultimately true? We must have a clear conception what ultimate truth is. O Narada, says Sanat Kumara, you can speak truth only when you know what truth is. That's true. You can speak truth only when you know what truth is. Not what you think and say something is the truth. First you should know what is the truth, then only you can speak the truth. Well, this gives answer for everything. First you should know what is the truth, then only you can speak the truth. Why? Because when you are speaking the truth, that what you are seeing in the truth is being spoken. As I told you, it's not that what you speak becomes the truth. Here in our normal life, what happens? What we speak becomes the truth. We consider or we think that what we speak is the truth. Or what it appears, what we experience, we consider it as truth. Yes. I have a pain. It is true. I have pain. We cannot call it as truth. You are telling the fact that you have pain. It's not the truth. You are experiencing the pain. Okay? When you are experiencing, how it can be truth? It is not truth, it is only an experience. The truth is not that. Truth is not that small things like, I got a pain, I told you the truth, I got a pain. I am hungry, it is the truth. They are not truth. That's not the truth. The truth is that what is existence, what there is, the ultimate of no experiencing, ultimate of the knowledge, that is what is known as the truth, what you call as the truth, Satyam, if you call it as Satyam. But is everything ultimately true? We must have a clear conception, O Narada. You can speak truth only when you know what is truth, otherwise, how can you speak truth, is what he is asking. But do you know what truth is? Truth is not what you perceive as true in this empirical world. The whole world is not true. It is not the ultimate truth. So how can you say that anything in this world is true? Whatever you speak is not true. You must know what is real, what is really true. When one knows what truth is, one speaks truth. Narada is instructed in this manner. And ignoramus cannot speak the truth. Knowledge of truth is therefore very important. We have to know the knowledge. Because of the knowledge comprehends the truth. And so, what is the truth again? We come back to the same point. So we have explained through various methods. One is that experiencing is not truth. That spoken is not truth. The truth is spoken. Then we said about the attunement into, that's why he said attunement in the mystery of the knowledge of the reality, which is again the being, that is the truth. Truth is not that what is there in this empirical world that is happening, because world Jagat itself is mithya, world itself is mithya. How can you yourself is mithya? How can you tell the truth? Unless you know the truth, you cannot speak the truth. That's what is. Unless you know what is the truth, how can you speak the truth? These are what we have discussed. Section 18, he goes further. Now to know the truth, again you have to go for the thought and understanding. In thought and understanding, यदा है मनुदेदाद विजानाति नामत्व विजानाति मत्वैव विजानाति मतिस्वेव विजिज्ञासितव्येति मर्तिं भगवो विजिज्ञासयति इत्यष्टादश खण्डः 18th chapter is. When one reflects, one understands. Thought and understanding. When one reflects, one understands. Without reflection, cannot understand. Is it not? How to understand? What is understanding? Through the intelligence, through the mind, through the emotions, through Sankhya Yoga, calculations. Sankhya Yoga, 2 inches is that material. Another material is 10 inches. You will definitely see 10 inches big and 2 inches small. Sankhya Yoga. based on the measurements, like measurable, those which can be measured. It's called Sankhya Yoga. This can be measured. So measurements can be done through the lower consciousness only. It's called understanding. That's why Bhagavad Gita said about this Sankhya Yoga. This is understanding. Thought and understanding is this. The earlier was truth and understanding. Now it is thought and understanding. The word mati and similar other words used these passages of the Upanishad carry a meaning much more deep than appears to be surface, because we are treading upon the forbidden land where the mind cannot easily reach, where things go almost beyond the above our heads. We do not know what we are speaking and what we are hearing. Such is the condition that is being explained here. Such is the state into which Narada is being initiated by Sanat Kumara, the great saint, great master. There is something higher than the knowledge or aspiration of the truth. It is the tendency of one's being to move towards reality. That's why he said about the thought and understanding. A thought has to be there. A thought comes. One thought is that what you are doing, executing your karma khandhas. Another thought, when you see, you have, suppose in your mind, I want to listen to Upanishad. We don't know anything about Upanishad. Nobody knew before. We heard. But in your mind, a thought firmly implants, I have to listen to it. Where has this thought come from? Is what he says. That's why thought and understanding is. When that thought comes, then only the understanding comes. I want to know the reality. Where is that thought coming from? Not know. Living in this world, the reality has no use for material life. Is it not? That's why some people will ask, hey, what will you do? What will you do with all this? What are you going to do? Knowing Vedanta. You're wasting your time only. But the other one says, no, I want to know. What is the use? I don't know. But I want to know. This is a thought which is a firm, leading you towards the reality. Where this comes from is that what his question is. Who put this idea into you? Here Maharshi says, this tendency is prior to our consciousness of reality. We cannot be conscious of this urge itself because it is prior to everything else. Even becoming conscious of anything, nobody knows what this urge is and from where it comes from. We don't know. Is his version. So he also says, Ishwaranugrahat eva pumsam advaitavasana. Ishwaranugrahat eva pumsam advaitavasana. Who said? Dattatreya has told, it seems, somewhere that there is no explanation for it. Only Ishwaranugrahat eva pumsam. That's only. Where this thought has come from that I want to know Upanishad, I want to know Vedas, I want to know the reality, I want to know the existence. Ultimately, I want to know the Brahman. Where has this come from? I can understand, oh, I want to have a good meal, I want to have good clothes, I want to have a house, I want to have this, I want to have that. It all arises from the desires of the mind. We can always explain it. There are explanations for that. There are various methods to identify from where it has come from. But where has this come from, which initially for a person before knowing, he doesn't know what is the utility of it. Whereas when you ask for a house, you know what is the utility of it, is why you are desiring for it. When you ask for a meal, you know what is the utility of that meal, is why you are desiring for it. A cloth, you know, is why you are desiring for it. But Brahman, you do not know. Then how did you think about it? Are you getting it, is it? Here you got a purpose. Here the purpose is not known. Why should I know the Brahman? Why should I know the Vedas? Why should I know the Mimamsas, Uttara Mimamsa, Dakshina Mimamsa? Why should I know the Vedanta? Who has put this? Dattatreya told it seems. According to him, he says that Dattatreya, the great master Dattatreya said, Ishvara Graha Deva Pumsam Advaita Vasana. Ishvaranugraham is it. Can we conclude just like that? Where is it? There's no answer, is what Dattatreya said. How has this knowledge arisen? So Bhagavan Dattatreya said, perhaps it is God's grace. Or we may call it as grace of absolute or mysterious outcome of the very process of evolution, which is egged on by some principle of which we have no idea, and the purpose of which is far, far beyond our understanding, is what Swami Ji explains about. No, sorry, no, I surrendered. I cannot tell you how it has come. That's what he says. I was contemplating on it days. How can we leave a subject just because saying that Ishvara Anugrahat Pumsam? There's a reason for Ishvara Anugraha also. Why, if that is Ishvara Anugrahat Pumsam Advaita Vasana, why it has not happened to all? Why only out of so many crores of people? Only a handful of people want to really know the reality and Brahman. Even though there is an en masse of bhaktas in Kali Yuga, all the temples are full. Have you seen that? Janamaha Samudra in Puri during Ratha Yatra. All are known as devotees. Out of those devotees, 99.99 has gone only thinking that if we go there on that day and dip ourselves into that water and then pray to Jagannath, I will get moksha and I will get this, I will get this. Many purposes of material life they want. Most of them are going for that. The crowd in the temples are only filled with vows and prayers for this, that and all that. Otherwise, why, how many tolas of gold and coins and money is flowing in temples? That's what I said. Even though it may appear that there may be thousands of people, there are a huge crowd for knowing the knowledge, knowing the God. They want to identify the God for their own selfish motive of small materialistic benefit. Going all the way to Puri and ask them like Asura is asking for, after doing 20 years, 30 years, 100 years, 200 years, 1,000 years of penance, great penance, he is asking for what ultimately? Something very insignificant. With all the troubles, one goes to the temple only to ask for something very insignificant, which is very temporary. For how long? For one moment of the life. Give me, hey Bhagwan, give me this pleasure, is what we are asking. Here it is not like that. I have been contemplating on this, as I told you. Here Bhagwan said it is all perhaps the God's grace. How the God's grace comes to one. How this thought before consciousness is being born, this comes into one. That I have to know the reality. I have to merge with the reality. I have to be one with that, the being, the existence. I should know the Brahman. How the tapasvis, Maharishis like Vasishtha, Vishwamitra have come. How the Narada could become a Devrishi. How the others could not. Why so many people have got so many, there are very few, even though number-wise very few, there are very sincere few really want to have that Brahmajnanam, Brahmatattvam and Brahma Sakshatkaram. There are still people are there. Why people like me keep on talking about Brahmatattvam, Brahmajnanam? Somewhere or other there one gets into the stream of it, so that he is getting that initiation of that. So even though Ishvara Sakshatkarat or Ishvara's grace is that what is absolute, or is the mysterious outcome of very process of evolution which is set by some principle of which we have no idea, and the purpose of which is far beyond our understanding, he says. What we say is that it is again, I would say that whenever, according to what I could gather, or you can also contemplate on that, whenever a Jivatma, whichever kind of Jivatma is that, whichever shape and form, whenever a Jivatma is born, it is beyond the consciousness that the planning of the being born takes place. As we told about the prana. From the prana, it evolves, another prana comes out. That means the characteristics of the prana is the same. This is an evolution. It's an evolution from the mass of the prana to a small prana. Okay, it's an evolution. In this evolution, definitely, there is a grace, there is a knowledge. There is a knowledge to be there back again to the being, the existence. Is why it is being born again. Why it is being born again? In order to make these experiences undergo, that's why I said what I normally use in experiencing and exhausting them is always I say that. What do you mean by that? Experiencing, exhausting means there should be no experience left out. Is what he said that it is the wisdom. It's the peak of experience, peak of wisdom, said that. That means experiencing and then exhausting that. Like this, the evolution takes place, Janma after Janma. These pranas which are undergoing this, has an inherent knowledge in that prana, inherent knowledge when it is born, inherent knowledge and inherent consciousness, beyond consciousness, that I would like to be back here. I'm putting in very simple words. That I would like to be one with the reality, I would like to be one with the being. This intention is inherent there in every prana. But what happens is that during the process of execution of experimental experiences, exhausting the experiences, many utilize the capability of exhausting them, the experiences, many do not. The ones who have succeeded in exhausting the experience, or in the process of exhausting the experience with a firm conviction, they get a higher intensity of initiation of the thought that I should be listening to Upanishad, I should be listening to Vedas, I should be doing this, I should have the Brahma Sakshatkaram, I should have the merging layam with the Brahman at last is this knowing. This information from the background will keep on haunting them, even though they are doing so many things, but there will be a haunting from that is based on also the experiences they undergo by their preference. Yes, even though everything happens, but they initiate themselves into it through the process of listening and the gurus and the motivation and things like that, or exhausting the experimental experience, exhausting their karmas. They will get a call, or they will get information from that inherent knowledge. That inherent knowledge is there always, but revelation of that inherent knowledge called the inherent knowledge necessity is not identified by all. Why? Because they are preoccupied by other things. Even though, that's why I told you, probably you remember some time back, I don't know, with the previous class or the previous to that, I said that even if you hear thousands of satsangs, one may not be eligible for transcendence or transformation. But one listening to one satsang is good enough to transcend and transform is also there. Why? Because initiating that spark, of creating the thought, connecting the thought of understanding of the higher consciousness is always there. But the one who is ready, the one who is sacrificing, the one who is surrendering, the one who is not egoistic. That ego has to be surrendered. What are we surrendering? Ego is we are surrendering. Tapasya we do, meditation we do, and surrender we do, upasana we do, the Nidhyasana we do. I told you the process. The person who is undergoing this will have these initiations also comes from the informations from there. But the one who executes it very sincerely, that's that steadfastness. The steadfastness should be there. Then what happens? He will be guided through and automatically taken to the thought and reality is called the God's grace. When you start wanting to exhaust your karmas, the God's kataksha will be there, grace will be there. The one who would like to come out of it will be supported and pushed is called God's grace. That's why the kataksha should be there. Gurutva, we call it as Gurutva. Hey, itna sakya isko Gurutva nahi hai usme. That means he does everything, but he falls down at last. There's no use. He did not get the gist of it. There has to be a kataksha, there has to be a blessing. From the old ages, from our Shastras, this system of the Gurutva has been established because it is absolutely necessary. Because the one who is under the lower consciousness cannot find a way to break through towards the higher consciousness, because attractions are so much in lower consciousness, this will not allow it to go up, you see, because with so much of attractions are there in the Maya, it will not allow. To help you, just to give you the reflex sparks in between, Kadacha is required for that, and initiative is required for the initiation. And initiative is required for the initiation, is what I think. So Narada says, Sanat Kumara, beyond and prior to all that is in you, including your knowledge of reality, including your aspiration for that, we said that about desire and aspiration, we have explained earlier. So we should have the aspiration, then we go rise up. But when we convert that into desire, we remain in the same realm. We are unable to break through the thin film between the lower consciousness and higher consciousness. To break through that, what you require to break through that film, thin film, aspiration is required. Move towards that behind. In tendency is to move towards it. The mind will stop thinking completely. At a point of time, the mind will stop thinking completely, for it does not know what to think at all if the tendency were not there. Only when the tendency, this inclination of your total being reality is there, only then can you have an aspiration for reality, not otherwise. This is the object of your meditation now. Hey, Narada, so we should have the meditation on this, where the initiativeness for the realization of the truth and being has to be there in order to help us to promote from the lower consciousness to higher consciousness, leaving that where the more and more you entangle, the more and more you will come down. The aspiration will not increase, the more and more coming down. When our ego plays, when our emotion plays, when our desires plays in our life, it will drag us down towards this. Aspiration places us in higher consciousness. This truth has to be realized, and your path of initiative has to be towards that. But if your karmas are very strong and unfulfilled karmas are that dragging you there, whatever you try, you will find the desire more attractive than the aspiration. Just can't help it. You go through that experience again and then come when the time comes, or when you learn it. So comes to another path towards the truth is that next session is that on section 19, that is 7.19.1 is faith. Faith only can bring you this is what he is trying to do. Faith. Small things are there. We will cover 3-4 in a day and we will finish. That's probably